Welcome, everybody. OB here for another edition of OB's Pregame, right here from the BAFL studios in Panama City Beach for the matchup between number 2 Alabama and number 20 Arkansas. As always, one of our sponsors is Little Debbie Oatmeal Cream Pies. Two of them are eaten by Nick Saban every morning. Awesome. We have a special guest today, so we're going to just jump right into it. Our very own BAFL Commissioner, Eric Tiny E. Johnson. Come on board.
Well, Steve, I got to tell you, it's good to be with you today. Thank you for having me on your show. This is great.
It's great to see you. It's great to see you. You know, I got to clear one thing up before we get started here.
Yes,
there
sir.
have been some rumors out there that the one-hit wonder little duo of Casper and Tiny E may be coming back with a new edition of the Little Brother song.
Well, Steve, I got to tell you, this is a little bit off topic, but I'm happy to address it for you. As you know, all the brothers have a unique relationship. And when me and Mike get together, it's always been about the music. As you know, Mike is a banjo prodigy. And what you may not have known is that his vocals are really where he shines. And I'm sure that you saw that in that song. It's I liken it to if you combined Fergie and Jesus together, and that person sang. That's how he sounds. But there's two things that I think that need to be brought out of that song that are the highlights. And one, that is that nobody is ever at your gigs. And two, I solo better than Jeff. So I think we could probably just leave it at that. And episode 2 of it, yes, it might be coming up down the road.
Awesome. We can't wait to hear it. And you never know down the road, Matthew and I may come up with something, although I don't know how we could ever compete with that. Again, it's great to have you, Commissioner. So look, put on your Commissioner hat. We had a great first year. The second year is going even better. Kind of tell us a little bit about what you're seeing so far this season with the 4 teams, the 4 brothers, at the scores, the wins.
Well, Steve, this question kind of pisses me off, to be honest with you. Every interview show I'm on, I always get asked this question. How is BAFL going in year 2? Well, how the hell do you think it's going? We're 4-0, buddy. Roll freaking Tide. We're rolling this thing down the road. We're going to kick some hog ass this weekend. I assure you of that. But I do want to point out a few things, if I can dig in a little bit deeper on BAFL, and that is that there have been some snafus. One being is that you, sir, have been issued a red flag this season.
Correct.
And with great disappointment from me on that, right? And penalties were issued. Mike and Jeff did not get out scot-free either. They both have been assigned a yellow flag. And I would just like to point out that I'm the only one that has no flags. And on game day, it's a big production around here at the BAFL headquarters. And, I've got a lot going on to try and keep this crew going. And to be honest with you, it really comes down to participation. And sometimes I see it and sometimes I don't. And be honest with you, it's like trying to reverse a vasectomy, to be honest with you. Sometimes you're on, sometimes you're not on. And then that really pisses me off too. So I would like to see all the brothers be on all the time, participating, texting back and forth, doing whatever they got to do. But I would like to point out some highlights. That your halftime shows and your pregame shows are certain highlights, and we appreciate that. I would like to congratulate Jeff for recently being appointed the meteorologist of BAFL, and a few things underway. The handbook is under constant construction, with things like you must always have fresh food at an event. That was brought on by you, sir, who asked if it was okay to have Mexican leftovers, and so we had to clear that up right away because absolutely it is not. And the other thing that I would like to point out is that that petty cash in BAFL is running a little bit low. And so I'm going to be sending out a Venmo text to everybody, and everybody's going to need to start chipping in because this operation doesn't run for free, sir.
Well, I'm not sure who I'm talking to today, Tiny E or Nick Saban, but you definitely channeled Nick Saban early in that speech. It's great to have you, and you got to have strong leadership in an organization like this, and the rest of us at BAFL, we appreciate that. So let me move on. Before the show this morning, we were talking about we've got a lot of exciting things that are coming up this year. We got the tailgate party, possibly the winner of that weekend scoring some extra points, which could be instrumental in somebody winning it. But we were talking about one. You had gotten an email from an anonymous source on a weekend that really piqued my interest that I want you to talk a little bit about, and it's the Mopsy weekend.
Yeah, Steve, and I'm gonna get a little soft here. The brotherhood is about a lot of things, and we know it's about Alabama football, and we love our Tide. But there is nothing we love more than our mother.
That is true.
The great one, the famous one, Mopsy. And so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The anonymous one is actually you, and I know you're trying to be humble here, and I'm not going to let you do it. But you had brought up to me that it would be great if we had a Mopsy weekend. And then the ideas started flying around about what that could look like, and I think we were both in agreement that we should all have corn dogs and milkshakes for the game.
That's exactly right.
And because that was all during our bulking phase as teenagers, and so we got to have that, and we have other ideas that we want to do for that, but I think that showing our love for our mother during an Alabama game is crucial for every BAFL season going forward, and we're going to implement that this season. And we're still in talks about what game that's going to be for, but I think everybody will be excited about that, and that'll probably be the most special game of the season.
I would think so. And, Mopsy was a huge Bama fan, and if either of the other two brothers know what other team she hated the most, they can certainly send that to you. Or we can do homecoming. I know there's a lot of talks, but we'll get that together. That's going to be a special weekend. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Any ideas can go straight to my BAFL email address. They know that.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, last question. Halftime shows. I just want to bring this up because I love doing them, and I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to do these pre-games and the halftimes this year. But it's also in the policy manual that each member has to do one halftime show, and I didn't want that to pass us by because I think that's going to be a special part of this year. So could you elaborate just a little bit on that?
Well, the elaboration is that we this is one of the rules that we established early on. We got about 8 bullet points that detail out the guidelines of BAFL, and then we expand from there. But one of the early bullet points was that you will always be the headliner for the BAFL headline shows because of the immense talent and enthusiasm that you bring to that. And it's much appreciated by all the brothers. But with that said, I think it was just us recognizing that it is a lot of hard work for you and that we should give you a break from time to time. There's 3 other brothers. And I think probably what I'm going to do, Steve, is that I'm just going to go ahead and designate games. I'll get with you about it offline and just, we'll designate games and then we'll send out the memo to the other brothers and say, hey, you got this game at halftime, and then we'll just go from there.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a musical situation. I mean, be creative. If there's something else you want to do, have at it.
Whatever you want.
It's all about the spirit, pumping the brothers up, getting us going for the game in the second half. That's what it's about.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, I thank you so much. I do want to recognize your partner in crime and your lovely wife Tammy, who behind the scenes helps run BAFL. The spreadsheets look awesome. I mean, guys, you will have to notice that down there is an ideas tab, a penalties tab. I mean, this thing is really getting intricate. And so I'm going to leave it with you to get us pumped up for this game last week, 55-3. This week we're playing Arkansas there. I was a little afraid of it earlier on, but the more I'm getting into closer to this game, the more I think that Will Anderson and Bryce Young are going to do what they got to do. But I'm going to leave with you to get us pumped up, and then we'll be out of here on this pregame show, the best pregame show ever at BAFL.
Well, Steve, I think what I want to do is I want to step into my tiny E role, and just say that I love our brotherhood. Like, and I mean that. I love each and every one of my brothers. You know, this whole thing we do is just another unique thing that we do that I think other brothers across the nation wish they had this kind of bond that we do. So I love each and every one of y'all. Jumping back into getting things fired up, I just want to say that Alabama is playing Arkansas today. Every one of us has great scores turned in. We're going to whip some hog ass and roll freaking Tide, baby.
Absolutely. Putting it on, baby. We're going.
Roll Tide. Let's do it.
Bama, let's do it. Great show.